Hi, my name's David Woodland, and this is my Our Country's Good logbooks. What logbook what? So, obviously the play is Our Country's Good. This is the first 2 weeks of what we started. It's Our Country's Good. I can't talk today. Yeah, so we started Our Country's Good. We basically read through the text, which obviously you do with every play. That's a given. We textually analysed it, so we sort of broke down. Excuse me. We sort of broke down character motives, character subtext, even not character. So character motive, character subtext, super objectives, objectives, that sort of things. Like, why would the character do this in this situation? How would you feel how the situation pans out? If you get me. So there's one way of saying a character. So like, if someone says hello, you can say angry, sad, etc., etc., and it completely changes the scene. So what else did we do? We looked at the idea of power and status as well. So obviously the convicts are a lower status than the officers. So we looked at how you can show that physically, vocally, and like on the stage as well, just setting in general. So like where you stand, because as a rule, usually I think it's one side of the stage is considered more powerful than the other, because that's generally where people look more. What else did we do? So we did that. Oh yeah, we had a few lessons in which we looked at character background and contextual analysis. So we basically, this just entailed us looking about this time period it's set, what sort of what time it was, like what sort of government, so political, social, economical issues. Also, we kind of looked at when it was written, because that could affect what sort of motifs even, that the play has. So if it's set at a time of recession or economical crisis, then you could get a lot of plays about with similar motifs to that. Okay. What were my specific focuses for this week, and how did I develop them? Well, because it's just a start, obviously, I've got to go in with an open mind and sort of do what's given me and just see how that goes. But coming off the last piece, I understand that was more surrealism, whereas this one is going to be more naturalistic, using Brecht rather than Stan. Yeah, using that. So my focus was trying to develop a real performance rather than a stage performance, I'm going to call it, because that's really what I believe the play actually asked for, rather than sort of the surreal aspect of that we had in Metamorphosis. So that was my specific focuses, was to try to develop a realistic approach to the play. What was I most pleased with that I did that week? Well, it's just a start. I was just sort of pleased that we started something new, in all honesty, because I just like change. I just like changing about a bit. So that was it's just nice to have something fresh. But personally, I just believe I just focused a lot. Like, that was my most pleasing bit. I was quite focused towards the start of it. I was quite interested in doing it. Like, I wasn't just like, I was already like, I hate this play already. So I thought I was pleased with that. What do I feel I can improve on for the next week? So for the next week, we will be sort of getting into the meat and two veg of the sort of play. We'll be rehearsing and developing our pieces we've chosen. So I feel just sort of again enhancing the realism of which I portray the pieces that I'm going to be choosing, and just general making sure I've got to keep a contrast between characters and choose contrasting characters, because obviously the two characters I played in Metamorphosis have to be different from the two characters I play in Our Country's Good, because that's what the brief entails. Did you achieve the title from last week? Not applicable. What do you want to achieve by the end of next week? Like I just said, make sure I keep the realism back to quite high. Yeah, that's just basically what I just said 2 seconds ago. Is there anything else you wish you had? Not at this stage, no. That is my first Our Country's Good logbook. Thank you for watching.